Hello and welcome to Mentors Capital. As a platform, we at Mentors Capital aim to further student aspirations, and we aim to do this by giving practical insights around program selection, college evaluation, how to choose courses, the admission processes that various colleges have, and much, much more. And we do this, we do this gathering of information by connecting with expert mentors across the globe, right? And by understanding their journey and what challenges they faced in tricky situations that they encountered, I think we aim to gather insights for a student to learn and embrace in his or her personal context. In this series of interviews, we essentially aim to give you everything that you need to learn how to succeed in your study aspirations. In today's interview, I have somebody very unique in terms of profile, Ankita Humne. Welcome to this interview. Ankita is currently pursuing her master's in MS in robotics from the EPFL school in Switzerland. Welcome to our show, Ankita.
Thank you.
Maybe Ankita, for the benefit of our viewers, could you just tell us very briefly about your academic and professional journey?
Okay. So I did my schooling from Nagpur in Maharashtra.
Right.
And then I gave IIT JEE, as most people aspire to do in our country. And through that, I got into IIT Bombay, where I pursued a dual degree, which is a 5-year integrated bachelor's plus master's in aerospace engineering. After that, I worked for 2 years and realized engineering is my calling and not non-core. And then I decided to do a master's in robotics at EPFL. So yeah, I'm currently in my second year of master's here, and I hope to graduate in 2021.
That's wonderful. Ankita, I'm very excited because amongst the many fields in information technology and in fact technology in general, I think robotics is a field which has been pretty much at the forefront of where humans can go, and you're right in the midst of this. So help us understand how you perceive this field of robotics.
So this field is much like I can draw an analogy to cars. So there was a time when there were no cars, and today it's an essential part of our life.
Absolutely.
And that's how I see robotics as like for today, it may not be everywhere, but I foresee a time in the future where maybe robots assist you in the most trivial things in your life. Now, so robotics has a lot of application in things that are unachievable by humans because it is harmful to them or because the nature of the job is to have a lot of precision, or there are places that humans cannot reach. And that's where robots have been seen to be useful, and that's where the current research is also focused on, to assist humans in things that they cannot do.
Right. So I guess the world of science fiction and movies quite closely mirrors what's happening in the world of technology because in recent times a lot of movies with androids and robots are hitting the screen. So I guess that's the future that we're looking at. Ankita, I wanted to specifically understand what in your set of interests told you that robotics would be the field for you. Right? When did you decide that this is the field where you want to make your career in, and how did you go about that?
So I think decisions like these take a long process. I mean, it's not like you wake up one day and decide that, yeah, robotics is what I want to do. So for me, it started when I was doing my bachelor's at IIT Bombay. So like it was by chance that um, I met a very nice professor who guided me in a project at IIT. And it was a mix of the kind of work that I did, as well as the kind of research the professor did. And so she helped me uh, explore, that this is what is available in this field, and that aroused my interest. But I did try to do a few other things other than robotics and controls. But finally, I realized that robotics is what interested or enthused me the most, and what I think my knack also is in. So that's how I selected robotics.
Any specific project that you remember from your undergrad days that really built that belief in you that this is the field that you would do well?
I mean, I think it was my first project at IIT that actually, um, I mean, I did remember both of them because it was with the same professor,
All right,
and they were related. But
right.
yeah, that was the one project that I remember enjoying working on. And even so, as I said, I did try to do other projects, but I think it's the comparison that helps you. Like, so when I compared the two projects, I saw that the one in robotics was more suited for me.
Could you tell us about what exactly was the objective of that project? What did you try and build?
So it was a navigation and guide. So navigation and guidance is a field uh, in aerospace as well as robotics, wherein
I
you
should think
have
even in
robot.
drone technology.
Sorry.
I said I should think even in drone technology.
Yeah. So my work is mostly on drones. Like most of my projects have been with drones. So yeah. So it was basically navigation of a drone using this one control, like one algorithm that the professor along with a PhD student had devised. So it was basically surveillance of a target by moving around it in a certain pattern so as to have good surveillance and like, yeah, basically just that.
Okay, that sounds like at the same time as you describe, as you talk about this project, it's exciting because you're talking about something that all of us can relate with. Designing drones and equipping them with various functionalities. But at the other end, it also sounds like a domain which is heavily technical, and this is of a technical nature which most of us cannot do not deal with in day to day life or even in the classroom. So is it indeed that hard, or is it more programming and less of pure sciences in terms of what you study in robotics and what you get to apply in the real world?
So I think what we study and what we apply at EPFL is quite similar. Actually, it's very application oriented. Um, it is quite technical, honestly. I generally work on the software and simulation part of things and not so much on the hardware.
All right.
But but I know people who work in hardware on implementation, and that is a mix of both. It's like being street smart as well as being able to apply your technical knowledge and understanding. So it can be both depending on what you choose to do.
Okay, okay, that sounds pretty interesting. So now that we know that you had decided once, at the end of your undergrad, that robotics is something that you would like to pursue. So what kind of courses, master's programs did you look at? Did you look at anything specific within the field of robotics, or was it simply a master's in robotics? Help our viewers understand within the field. Do you start looking at super specialization, or do you look at a broad course?
I think if you're doing a master's, it's going to be broad. It's on a PhD that you go super specialized. But uh, when I looked at the robotics masters, I looked at specifically robotics and controls masters.
Mhm.
So controls is a field in science which basically helps you
Engin-
control
in,
or
engin-
design the control ecosystem
the,
in
the
engineering. Yeah.
the engineers amongst our viewers will remind themselves of control systems. Of course, they would have studied, I'm sure, engineering, and that's what
Yeah.
Ankita is talking about.
So yeah, I mean that's what I wanted to see.
Okay, so robotic and
Controls,
controls.
yes.
So
And
was it true that most programs across the world offer programs that are of similar nature, or were there was there differences in the course itself, the program itself?
No, I think the kind of courses that, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, there are some universities which have robotics as maybe a part of their aeronautical department or electrical department or mechanical department, and some have a specific master's in robotics course.
Right.
So, I think it depends on if I have a course as a part of electrical department, then maybe it's a bit more electronics and electrical oriented.
Right.
For us, also it's quite so for me it's a master's in robotics, but that's
Mm-hmm.
also very interdisciplinary.
Mm-hmm.
And but regardless, every institute gives you a wide choice of options of courses that you can take from depending on your interest.
Okay. So which geographies, which universities did you look at when you? I mean, obviously, the thought was always going to be go study at one of the top schools across the world. So, in fact, let me put this question in two parts. One, why did you decide to study robotics outside India? Why was that, a concern for you?
Okay. So, in India, I did like think of looking for some jobs in robotics in India, but they were not that well paid.
Okay.
Uh, but I mean, there are some good companies that are up and coming.
Right.
But so I had an internship in the US,
Right.
and I really liked that experience, and that motivated me to perhaps try to work outside, uh, given the kind of exposure you get in terms of facilities and technology, and even the people were amazing and very professional.
That sounds like very interesting. Could you tell us more about this internship? What exactly was that about?
So I had an internship at Gulfstream in the US, which is a private jet manufacturing company. So it was super cool because they manufactured private planes for even the Queen, probably not the Queen, but like every big celebrity that you can think of. Like, I mean, I don't think I can discuss who was, but
Yeah.
like
So
really
that's
good big,
confidential information.
yeah, like really big celebrities is
Right.
what I
Right.
would say. Like
Absolutely.
in India, everywhere across the world.
Right.
For an aerospace engineer, I think it was just the best exposure because I mean, every day is to see huge planes getting manufactured and like they were just very elegant and sophisticated. So it
Hmm.
was like it was very um, interesting for me.
Okay. And why do you think that internship sort of uh, persuaded you or convinced you that studying abroad or seeking for opportunities outside India was the thing to do?
Yeah, like I said, the facilities and technologies were amazing. And since I lived outside once, I thought I could live outside again.
Hmm.
And it was really fun. So
All right. All right. So did you consider the United States or was it other countries also that you looked at?
So I looked at US, UK, and Europe.
All right.
Yeah, and so I applied to a few universities in the US and a few in Europe. I didn't do UK because they have a 1 year master's program and that's not recognized everywhere.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. And what was the application process like at these places? So there's the US at one hand. Could you tell us which universities you considered in the US?
So I had UIUC, Purdue, Carnegie Mellon, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech,
All right.
quite a few actually, Ann Arbor, like U of T, Ann Arbor. Mm,
Pretty much the top 10, 20 schools in those disciplines in the
yeah, I
US.
mean, I didn't apply to the big ones like MIT, Stanford,
Right.
quite a few other than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then if we talk about Europe and UK, any specific places that piqued your interest?
So in UK, I think I looked at Imperial, mostly Imperial College,
Right.
and in Europe, I looked at EPFL, ETH Zurich,
All
uh,
right.
UDEV, KTH Stockholm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
those are the ones in Europe.
all right. So were the application requirements in these places similar more or less? Because Uh,
Yeah.
the Go ahead.
Yes, I think the application requirements world over are quite similar. Like you need the same GRE, TOEFL, recommendation letters, your SOP, which is very important, your CV.
Any experience requirements? Because it's a very specialized field, isn't it? So do they ask for students to come in with a background in either software or mechanical engineering or robotics?
I mean, I think you should obviously have some related experience, but some universities like ETH and EPFL also have some course requirements. Like you should have done these courses, so they ask for your transcripts also. Every
All
university
right,
asks for your
all right,
transcript,
all right.
but ETH and EPFL are quite concerned about the kind of courses that you've done before joining.
Okay, okay. So you're telling us that you felt that studying robotics in a country outside India was better because of the facilities that it gave you. Now you're in the middle of this course. Has that view changed? The
No, I
US.
still think. I mean, I still like the kind of projects that they have,
Right.
and the kind of teaching pattern and how they integrate your learning into the teaching. Like it's very your learning oriented.
All right.
They'll make sure that you learn well. So yeah, I
Right.
think it's a
Uh,
really good
but
program.
most candidates who tend to study abroad go in with this mindset of the money that we spend in terms of tuition and living expenses. Return on investment is a big priority, right? So the tendency is always to try and settle down in the host country, maybe get a residentship there, but essentially to get into the job market of that country. So is that also a thought in your mind, or is there, do you have any reason to come back to India at some point?
So like even before I started applying, I knew that I wanted to keep my options open. Like um, to be able to come back or to be able to settle there. Like I
Mhm.
never like I never know what I want
All
few
right,
years down the line.
all right,
So for me it was uh, yeah, I mean the money is a big concern. Like you want to get an ROI over that. Um, so I mean yeah, always it is always a concern whenever you are applying outside. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was the good thing was that EPFL is not that expensive.
hmm,
As I mean, it is so the tuition fees is around 800 francs,
okay,
which is 60,000 rupees
okay,
nearly,
okay,
less than 60,000 rupees.
okay.
So which was, I mean, at IIT also we paid around 50,000 a year when we were students. So, I mean, that was fine. The living expenses here are a bit more expensive. So, um, all in all, I think it will cost you around 20 to 25 lakh to study
Okay.
here. I mean,
Okay.
which is a huge amount for sure. But if you compare it to countries outside, other countries, it's one of the least you can get.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if it's the US, I think you're looking at least double that cost. Correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was one of the things. I mean, EPFL is like a very reputed university and it's cheaper than most places. So, like, um, yeah, I think the most you can go is up to 40 lakhs, depending
Hmm.
on how, like, yeah, you can go up to 40 lakhs, but that's still, I think, less than other places. So, what, like, I did my research, like, if I stay in Switzerland, and on how long does it take, or
Right.
I choose my courses and my uh, skills that I developed such a way that even if I come back to India, I get jobs that can have,
Got it.
let's say, not if 2 years, maybe 3 years of ROI.
Right.
So I did that kind of calculations when I.
Yeah, that sounds quite logical. That sounds like exactly like something that I would do if I was, planning a master's outside. Um, but tell me what, according to you, what was the toughest thing in the entire application process when it comes to EPFL? Because I'm sure it was competitive. So what's the one thing that troubled you the most? Let's say, or challenged you the most?
I mean, it's like the process of applying is not difficult. Like it's easy. The process of waiting is difficult. Like you wait for universities to accept or reject you, so that's difficult. Otherwise, it's fairly straightforward, and you'll get all the guidance you need on the websites.
Okay. Are there any scholarships on offer at EPFL?
Yeah, so I think mostly every university that you apply to has a merit-based scholarship.
Right.
Um, I don't know about means-based scholarship, but merit-based almost everybody offers.
Right. Uh, okay. And so how big is your, I mean, I'm also trying to understand, life in Switzerland and in your college. So how big is your batch? What's the batch size like for the
I
masters?
don't know honestly because it's like it's such a interdisciplinary course that everybody takes very varied courses, and it's not like you have one course that everybody takes.
Okay.
Besides, because of the COVID, you don't get to see everybody. So I
Yeah.
don't I don't know how big it is.
Right.
Not very big. Yeah, but I don't honestly have an idea of the number of people.
Okay. I would have asked you next about diversity on campus, but clearly, I mean, COVID has meant that there's very little for you to
Yeah,
experience.
for now it's
Did you manage to do any traveling in and around Switzerland?
yeah, I mean, not too much outside because the first summer we were um like so winter is a tough time to go around, but the first summer that I was here, it was COVID.
Hmm.
Managed to go to Italy
Okay.
and London,
Okay.
but yeah, that's it because of the COVID, everything was
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
Um, okay. So I think I have a rapid fire round planned, Ankita. So just the format. I have a few questions that I'm going to shoot at you. Just give us the first thought that comes into your mind. It just makes it more interesting. Right? Don't
Okay.
worry, but just keep your guard low.
Okay.
Okay. What is the favorite activity for you on campus?
Dancing?
Dancing. Is there plenty of opportunity to dance? I mean, I'm sure a lot of our Indian viewers are very happy with that.
Um, Not a lot of like you have to find it. I mean, so I used to teach dance here at part
Oh,
time.
oh, okay.
So now because of the COVID, that's also but
Can't
yeah,
you do can't you do dance sessions virtually?
I mean it's not that fun, but yeah, we do it sometimes. Yeah.
What kind of dance do you teach? Do you?
I do bachata and now I'm doing belly dancing. It's a Spanish dance.
Wow. Okay. That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it's
Um.
the same thing that Anand does and
Abhishek.
he does actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're Anand, I'm sorry.
I'm. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. One unique holiday experience or getaway experience in your country where you're currently
So
residing.
Switzerland is breathtakingly beautiful. Like in the summers, we used to go for hiking,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. Like it's beautiful beyond words. Like the color of the water is amazing. It's amazing how clean it is. The views are amazing. So it's just
Did you get to do
undescribable.
any? Did you get to do any skiing on the Alps?
No, so last winter I came back to India, and then like during this, I mean, then I was too scared to do it because you feel very cold the first winters because you're not used to the cold. But this time I might try it because I'm more used to the cold, I think.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Uh, uh, what has been the funniest moment in class so far, right? In the time that you pursued your masters, funniest moment of
I
humor.
shouldn't say.
Yeah, I can see that there's a moment that immediately comes to your mind. I want you to tell me what
Yeah, no, I shouldn't say it's not. It's
that was.
it's embarrassing for somebody else, so I shouldn't say it.
You can make it open-ended. Don't name anybody. Absolutely.
I mean, it's because of the Zoom, like sometimes you forget that your camera is on and your
Okay.
mic is on.
Okay.
There's this one professor who forgot that his mic and camera were on and he literally dug his nose and ate it. Like,
Ah, okay.
it's
That's
disgusting.
a cringe-worthy moment. That says.
Yeah. It is also fun,
I think
funny, but
I think
mostly
I've gone
disgusting.
into I think I've gone into rigor mortis already. Okay. Okay. How about what is the staple food that's kept you going for the past year or so since the course
The
began?
what? Sorry.
Staple food. What have you been eating that's kept you recharged all this while? Do you get
I
Indian
mean,
food there? Do you get Indian food out
I
there?
already,
You do?
yeah.
Okay. So don't tell me you're still eating your dal chawal. Managed to
No,
get that.
so,
I mean, in a good sense.
no, it takes more time to cook Indian and it takes less oil to cook pasta and stuff. So,
Correct.
but a mix of both. Like sometimes dal chawal is the easiest to do. Sometimes pasta with
So,
pesto is
so
the
your
easiest.
favorite, so your favorite cuisine.
I like I like a lot of Swiss food. It's actually a bit Italian. Like you have carbonara pasta, you have bolognese,
Yeah.
you have lasagna. Yeah, so
Mm.
when we had the time, we used to cook that. But also like chicken curry is nice.
You said chicken curry. All I could hear was cheese.
No, chicken curry and shrimps is not that expensive, so you can make that
Oh,
or
okay.
fish.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I think I got you started on food, and I can see that you're a foodie at heart, through and through. Okay. The one professor that you think you share a special bond with.
None. Like it's tough to. I mean, I've been here only 1 year, and that to not meeting the professors for half
Okay.
a year.
Maybe
So,
not a professor. Maybe anybody, right? Any friend, a mentor, a guide, a peer, anybody that you've developed or cultivated a bond with.
yeah, I have friends here. Yeah, some of them I have a nice bond with.
Yeah. You okay? Okay. Any one experience you'd like to share about that?
Um,
The way you bonded, a memorable bonding experience.
so I think I have a very close friend here, and the thing that we bonded on was that we used the same curse word a lot. So
Uh,
yeah,
well,
I'm
we
not
have
gonna tell
this.
anyone.
It's interesting you say that because we have this module where once you get your admit to a foreign country, you tend to start brushing up on your language skills, right? If I'm going to Spain, then I start learning Mexican, and so what do you start with? You start with the basic introductions, and I guess from what you're telling us, we should start going into the cuss words right next.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, luckily, when I was at IIT, I did 2 years of French, and they speak French here. Like, even
Hmm.
though I forgot a lot of it, it was good to begin with.
So, isn't this course like delivered in English? So, do you really need a foreign language to study a technical course to study, or can somebody manage without knowing French?
Most people who come here don't know a word of French
Okay,
because the program is in English.
right.
But to get into the social life, it's better to know French.
How about jobs? Is it easy to find a job
Yeah,
in Europe if you don't know
I
the
mean,
language?
yeah. I mean, it's in technical fields, it's still okay. Like, yeah, it's not
Okay,
that.
okay, okay. Um,
I mean, it's tough because you're not a national and you have more paperwork to do, but it's not a language constraint.
got it. Uh, Okay, I think we got what we need, Ankita. Thanks a lot for
Yeah.
getting on this chat with us. I think this was fun and yet a lot of meaningful insights that I'm sure students can glean from. Right. Thanks for your time, Ankita. I wish you all the best and please do stay connected with us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.